What is up, everyone? This is the Runners Club podcast. I'm your co-host, Courtney Phillips, here for, another week.
I ain't hear nothing. I hear nothing you said, but I know we back in here.
Yeah, I'm just saying me.
Podcast, you feel me? I know it's Courtney Phillips, you feel me?
But who are you?
Gonzalez.
Okay.
Gonzalez. I'm here for another episode, episode 2046 of the Runners Club podcast.
And we're back. So, what is the deal today? Well, we are going to be welcoming in a guest from New York. I don't know if we've had a guest from New York yet.
Nah, not from New York. Nope.
Okay. So first guest from the New York running scene.
Yes,
what you heard what?
Is a wild
what? You keep cutting out.
It's a wild scene. Am I cutting? What you mean I'm cutting out?
I heard you just now.
I'm having Zoom issues.
Yeah,
listen, look today.
Or mic issues because you're using that mic. I don't know. Listen, I'm on my hotspot today. I am not in the crib. I am at the store. I have been here since 5:30 a.m. And for those who know, we don't have internet at Boxville. It's all whatever T-Mobile was so graciously to give to me in the form of a hotspot. And since my iPad was stolen, I've only had one hotspot. I was up to two. I could switch off when one wasn't acting right, but now I am down to one until I replace my iPad. So we here. You sound good though.
We doing the best we can here. But no, I heard the New York. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what I guess is going to talk about from New York. What's going on in New York? Because that. I want to say, out of pure respect, I feel like New York is where the running scene concept popped off.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first place I really saw it, to the extent of how we're doing it. Of course, we added our Chicago sauce to it, and it's a different feel and it's a different thing. But for the most part, I know when I created 7 on Sundays, but after I created 7 on Sundays, I became privy to the New York running club scene. And I was like, oh yeah, I want to create shit like that here in this city.
Yeah. So your inspiration, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no inkling of what was going on anywhere. So.
Yeah.
But I do see how the New York running scene is inspiring. It has inspired me. When I discovered our guest and his run club, he's going to have to tell us how to pronounce his last name. But first name, Jerry. Run Club, Jerry. Goldfinger Run Club. And when I first saw him pop up on my feed after following, running hashtags on Gumbo Fit, I was just like, what's going on here? Okay, y'all got, it's the culture for me. And it's also just, community and just Jerry gives me that. I don't give a fuck. I'm running and this is my community. Love it or hate it.
2000%.
So, yeah, I mean,
what's his name? Jerry Francois?
That's my guess, but I wasn't, I didn't take French. I took Spanish. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what I'm saying.
Yes, I feel you. But yeah, so he's the what do you call it? The founder of Goldfinger Track Club. But I want to say the first New York Run Club that I became privy to was the Black Roses, which is for all intents and purposes, from the outside looking in, the fly run club. And then I learned about Jerry with Goldfinger, and then Harlem Run and stuff like that. So it's just a little bit of everything out there. What's the club that Tim Rossi always runs with out in New York? I can't remember the name of that run club.
He's Lost Boys, but that's his.
Yeah.
He also runs with Brooklyn Track Club, I think, sometimes.
Yeah. Because I think that's who does like the midnight halves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all the cool ass races. So, I mean, I think I said this once on a panel talking to other run clubs for Nike. It's like, you know, there's only so many things you can do with running. So we all like kind of copy and paste the things that we see and the things we see each other do. And like so much of, you know, our flavor is trying to capture that lightning in a bottle that I see the New York run clubs do.
Right.
And stuff like that. It doesn't, what they showed me was like the things that we do here in the city don't have to be plain. It don't have to be vanilla. It can have some fire to it, some sauce to it. It don't have to be what I see on NBC Sports. You know what I'm saying? It could be a little spice. Extra. Right.
Add your culture, because that's what makes it best.
Right. So before Jerry hops on, I mean, do you have an update? I see that you're sitting in a closet right now with a mirror. You got clothes hanging up. That doesn't really feel temporary to me. That feels a little permanent.
Yeah, I have a whole home to call my own. Yeah, it's you know, it's a little surreal because Matthew is not home yet. But you know, it's me, my brother Russell, and little girl Remy here on the block. You know, little girl Remy.
All right. She was just set tripping a minute ago.
Set tripping bad, like chill. And half the time it's me making the sound, and then she's still looking out the window like it's somebody else. I'm like, girl, relax. But yeah, you know, ultimately though, she throws a fit when it's necessary. It's like, yeah, if you hear something at the gate, bark. Please do. Get a bark off for me.
I understand the assignment.
Get a couple growls off. Like, I need you to do that, you know? And then ultimately she calms. And once I say her name, she knows what the situation is. Because if it were to be somebody, I don't want someone to feel like they could just walk through. Like, I need them to know that there are, you know, beware of dog. It's a beware of dog situation.
Let me be behind the gate. Bitch, I'm from Chicago.
Yeah, I'll fuck you up. Exactly. Don't come over here. You're not welcome.
I love it. So you in your new spot. You are in your home.
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that.
Thank you. Honestly, me too. Every night seems to be a better night of sleep. I was a little freaked out at first, just being in a new place. But yeah, it's becoming more and more my home. I've cleaned the floors like 5 times.
Oh my God.
Because I'm my dad's daughter, you know, like I will always be my father's daughter, and he is a excessive cleaner. And so every time I move into a new place, I excessively clean. So.
Okay. I mean, get it.
That's what I've been doing.
Standards. You have to live there. So clean as much as you need, especially before like Matthew gets there and it's a full house of just people doing things.
Yeah. Exactly.
How's Russell coming into it? How is he feeling?
He's loving it. And I mean, I can give more. I mean, ultimately he's living his life. I mean, every now and then he goes for a little walk. He's got his TV set up, his gaming system set up. So that keeps him occupied. He runs errands with me on a regular daily basis. So we're just kind of getting to know the city together. And yeah, I think he's adjusting well. And then he loves his he loves the whole situation. He likes his room. He likes the bathroom that he's like decided he's going to start using the back bathroom, even though like, it's just, you know, he's figuring out his thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I can share more. We got Jerry in the waiting room here. I don't want to keep him too long. So let's transition over back to our guest and invite him into the conversation. And then I can give more updates after. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we're back, and we're back with Jerry. And we've had a debate real quick, like earlier on, about your last name. Is it Francois? Like, tell us what it is.
That's Francois. That is correct.
Okay, great. Because I said I didn't take French. I took Spanish, so I'm not going to try and guess how these vowels are pronounced.
Where does the Francois come from?
My mom and my dad, they're both Haitian. And obviously, we know the history between France and Haiti. So I guess that's where kind of that last name comes from.
Straight up and down. France run that money.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much, But we got our independence,
Love it.
First.
But low key, fuck the French. Low key.
Oh, yeah.
High key. Yeah, still tyrants to this day, but everybody loves their culture. I'm not trying to be a hater, I swear.
My boy Mike is Haitian. Mike Thomas is Haitian. So, he be having all that fire, all them vibes, I'm saying, real cool, real lovable and shit like that. And then all of a sudden it's like ready to revolt at any given moment.
Okay, bring out the flag.
Bring out the flag. I actually brought out the wrong flag, West Side.
Yeah, I said Puerto Rican flag.
My bad.
Rep for his baby,
Right.
For my son, my bad. Wrong flag. It's all good.
My boy out here with the pearls on, popping.
Man, I just had to look right just in case, My first time using Zoom on my MacBook, so I need to be more professional. Too much things on my phone. So
you just hit the R&B lean real quick. You was finna lay across the bed,
what's up?
Bro. Like, Runners Club podcast.
What you want to talk about? I'm also digging the Bulls jersey. If I was
I was like, I gotta represent, South City. I'm coming. My comeback, play the 4-5, and then play games with you. So I had to wear it just for the special occasion.
Love it.
So we do like to start out with we do our best to be consistent, but like any runner, consistency is the key, but also the hardest thing for us to do. But we do like to hear like a little recap. Like how was your previous week been?
It's been calm, very relaxing. Got a lot of adult things out the way. I love running errands, so having the free time that I do, I make sure I take advantage of that and do all the little errands, whether it's like the grocery shopping or putting product into production and just having little meetings between collaborations and just, doing all the other stuff that can make my world go.
Yeah.
I love that.
And look, we already said before you hopped on, you are the first runner from Chicago New York that we've had on the podcast. So yeah. And
we here, baby.
Exactly. So, and I gotta tell you, it's with intention, because I was like, I don't know, because we've been thinking about having other people on. I was like, I don't know if we can have these other people without having Jerry first.
Told you, boy, I know the feeling. I was the first New York runner to be on a podcast with Shot City's very own. Let's get it.
Okay.
Love the energy.
Had to do it.
Energy. You already know, man. So the talk about the run club a little bit. Goldfinger Track Club. I love the name. It is what it is. It's like super fire. It just gives me vibes every time of just like excellence. You know what I'm saying? Like I just see shimmery shit in the air when you like running. You know what I'm saying? What was the vibes? What's the inspirations behind Goldfinger Track Club?
Yeah, so I'll try to make it the short version. 2000, I think 13 and 14, me and my friends were in the midst of this creative space. We're in like Tumblr, if you know that blog. It was like before Instagram. It was the very yeah, me too. So you kind of got a lot of inspiration from there, and it was just a lot of that era of Ben Trill, the Pyrex Vision, all that other kind of experimenting of like the branding of streetwear. And I was so heavy into that world. I loved it. I was like, oh, it's so dark, but it's so, so themselves. It wasn't the typical Supreme, Vape, all that other stuff. And I was like, I need a brand that expresses myself the way Virgil Abloh, the ASAP Rocky coming up, all those things. Mm-hmm. I was like, I need a brand that represents me. And I was like, I don't want to wear none of these brands because I'm labeled. When I wear Supreme, I'm a hype beast. When I wear this, I wear that, I'm automatically labeled as this. And I was like, you know what? I need to have something of my own. So me and my friend was walking through the Brooklyn Bridge, and we just kind of was reminiscing about the glory days when we ran in college. And I remember this one moment of my friend Kadon, who we were in nationals. We were on the podium. We came, I think, 4th or 6th place in nationals in the relay. And at that time, my coach Coach O, he had a Kodak camera. There wasn't digitals was getting in there, but it was like, you know, still old school, like, you know, so taking a picture with a Kodak, which is like just you want to be valuable how much photos you take because you only get 26. So my coach took a picture of us at the podium, and we didn't know in that moment that my friend Kadon was digging his finger in his nose. So we got the photos that summer, and my coach wrote a long, like, about what kind of group chat at the time. I think it was probably an app or something, where he just was going off on my friend Kadon about why would you be at the biggest stage digging your nose and all this other stuff. And his response was, "It's normal." And I was like, holy shit, that is normal.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with doing that at all. I was like...
And he also didn't realize he was doing it in the photo. That's what it seemed like. So why trip?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why trip? So when I thought I was like, wow, he was digging his nose casually. And then I just started putting things together. I was like, digging nose, digging for gold. And I was like, whoa, Goldfinger. And then the name came from there. And then we kind of created a hashtag one. It was like the growing stages of Instagram where we're just putting Goldfinger coming soon, Goldfinger coming soon. But no one knew what the hell we were talking about. Like, what is Goldfinger? We didn't know yet. It was just a name. And then I just needed to figure out, you know, I'm a visionary. I don't know how to necessarily do graphic designs, unfortunately, but I know exactly how I want them to look like. And then like, kind of like maybe a year and a half afterwards, when I started working at Nike, I met someone who worked at FIT and I told her my vision. And then she kind of created the logo for me in the one shot. And then I was like, all right, boom. So then I had a brand called Goldfinger in like 2015. And it was that aesthetic of just being, you know, being free to be expressive in any kind of light, no matter where you at. This is what represents gold. Mm-hmm. So at that era, yeah, you know, we were doing all these screen prints, dad hats, stitching, all that great stuff. And then I kind of fell back into running because Nike had this run club, they had NRC Plus, you know, and they were just formulating these things. And then I just was like, this is cool, but I missed the days of running track. I was like, road running is cool. I'm still learning it. I'm like, I didn't own a watch yet. I'm still running with the phone. Heavy as hell. Nike pockets weren't deep enough to put in my pocket. Like, it was just a struggle. And then we ran at the Armory, which is a popular track out here in New York City and Uptown. And I kind of grabbed all my old college teammates, well, who felt like they still could run a little bit. And then people I met from Nike and RC and like people I worked with. And we created a relay team, and it asked me, what was the name of your team? And I didn't have no name. I was like, I don't know. Well, he's like, well, you need something to put up top. And I was like, well, I got this brand called Goldfinger. So I was like, I guess Goldfinger Track Club. And then they just kind of went there. And then we won our heat. And then we just had like so much praise and love. Like, yo, Goldfinger Track Club, they're so fast, they're elite, this and that. I'm like, yo, we don't even have nothing yet. We just a clothing brand. We're not a run club, nothing. But the hype was so real for us. And then one of my friends who ran with us at the time, this is when running crews were like strictly like, if you run with this crew, you can only run with this crew. You're not allowed to go this way, that way, no matter what. I don't even care if the crew lived next door from you. You're not allowed to run with them. If you say you run with us, you run with us. So one of my friends
was that the atmosphere that y'all as leaders was creating, or is that just how people felt?
Well, I was very new. I just became a crew leader 2 days ago. So I had no idea. I didn't know nothing about the running politics or how crews were. I was not even part of a crew. Like, I think I was still saying, hey, come run with us, Nike NYC, right? Like, I didn't have no crew yet. And the Goldfinger was born a day ago, but my friend got a long message saying, hey, due to your disloyalty and running with another crew, unfortunately, we were going to have to move forward and drop you. And he showed me that. I was like, what does that even mean? I was like, you were signed to something? And he's like, nah, it was just a crew in my community, whatever. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, okay. I was like, and I felt bad. And I was like, well, this was something playful. This was a one-time thing. We're not a crew at all.
Yeah.
And then I felt bad. So I was like, you know what? I got to create this to be real now. But also the first rule is you can run with anybody you want. I don't give two shits. This is your safe space, but this is your home. So no matter where you go to, you always have a place to call home. And I was like, that's going to be what I create with Goldfinger Track Club. That this is always your home, no matter where you go. And then 2016, that was it. And ever since then, that's always been our mantra. think that's why we've been, despite the ups and downs, I think that's what I've created this beautiful family that I have out here in Brooklyn now.
You said 2016.
Yeah, so 2016. We were like March 3rd of 2016. I found the Goldfinger Track Club.
Yeah. Wow.
That's dope. So that's like about 2 years for me and you, Courtney, right?
2000.
Yeah.
Early. I was the first quarter of 2019. You guys were like the last quarter of 2018, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I literally watched the blossom of all run crews, like which is super phenomenal. And I was like, wow, I'm literally like, I got years deep with this thing. I was like, I'm blessed.
Yeah. Well,
it happened so fast.
Yeah. The New York run club scene definitely blew up before obviously Chicago. So it's been interesting to see. It seemed like it was like New York, LA, and then Chicago was like, once NRC was gone, then the run club started to sprout up. But there has been so much talk about, like, immediately when we started, I just remember everyone talking about, okay, but don't be like New York because they don't let people run with other crews. And I'm like, that's crazy. So you just take his claim on runners, on bodies? Like, that's wild. I just don't understand. So, I mean, it's nice to hear that your perspective at least is like, come back when you want. Like, that's how I've always been, where I'm just like, I'm trying to enhance the running opportunities in the city. I don't need to own you as a runner. It's your fitness. It's your health and wellness. Like,
exactly.
It's not about the crew. It's about you and the longevity of our community. I don't care where you are.
Yeah, that's the running politics. Things change now, thankfully, because of the COVID and the pandemic changed a lot of things of how running crews and communities are now. So
that's good.
But before it was tough.
Yeah, I'll be damned if I got a message like that from somebody like, you taking this way too seriously, fam. I need you to relax. I need you to chill. You took a lot of time to write out this whole letter to me when you could have just been minding your business.
Exactly.
So, do you feel like it's changed?
Yeah, 100%. Like, granted, unfortunately, it had to be during the toughest times of our lives where we were, social distance, in our own spaces, and being very selective if we did want to, be in spaces with other people without knowing, potential statuses or, mask requirements, all that other stuff. But it allowed people to really kind of just be wholesome to who they felt more closer to, but also eventually appreciate that there is a run club on every corner and every block. And why should I stretch myself so thin and not be able to tap into other communities and see more runners like myself or other people who they can relate to in different walks of life? And I think 2020, when crews slowly started trying to come back in little by little, it allowed everybody, because if you run in the Bronx and there's no run community in the Bronx right now, because everybody followed their own different protocols, right? Especially if they were following with their brand identity, right? It was like, well, we can't be the first club to come back and then 7 people catches COVID. And then the headline is, I ran with this club and I caught COVID, right? So everyone was very scarce about who I go to, right? Yeah. And then when we started transitioning from running to protests and just kind of bringing communities back, people would start to travel. So we had people from Long Island come to us, Staten Island, Bronx. It was because they had no community yet over there yet. And it was like, I want to run.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable, but I'm having anxiety, or I'm going through mental depression and all this other stuff because I've lost what kept me going in so long. But I want to be able to interact again about running and be excited about running. So I think that's what allowed people to start, hey, I run with this too, but GFTC has a run on Thursdays. I'm going to pull up, I'm going to show up to that. And then that's kind of how I started doing it, right? And everyone went to the Bridge, the Rage, the Defined, and all the other crews around spreading to Uptown, to Boogie, and et cetera, et cetera. And it was just like, everybody was allowed to just go wherever they wanted to go to with no problem. And I thought that was very beautiful to see.
Yeah. Well, and then what about you as far as how you've evolved as a leader? Like, where do you, from that 2016 to now, how do you, what are you doing now in comparison, and how are you moving forward?
I I think I've grown a lot from 2016. I think when I was learning about the running community, I was eager to like make everybody go finger. Like I wanted everybody to be go finger. I wanted to give everyone a singlet, even if I didn't have nothing to turn on yet. There was just such an eagerness. And then I got lost in what running was at that time. It was very competitive. So I was trying to recruit everyone fast, you know, but it was like everyone fast, but someone of my complexion or my skin or anything like that. And I was kind of just kind of obsessive. Like you remember me once, I'm like, yo, we go from a track club, you'd be down with us, we would do this, we do that. And I just was like, I was getting lost because I was still learning, but I was getting caught up to everybody else's identity or how they were recruiting or whatever like that. I think now how I am now, especially that we're membership based, I was like, we don't put no pressure on anybody, right? I think every time when someone DMs me about, hey, I want to learn more about Goldfinger Track Club, first, of course, I give them the website for the review purposes to see what they see. But I also tell people, hey, pull up, see what the vibe is. And then it's up to you if you want to become a member.
Right.
Have the option. But I want you to, I don't say because you didn't pay me yet, you can't run with me. I say pull up, come whatever level of space you feel comfortable with. If you want to start by the track, come to the track. I always tell people the track is a little bit more intimidating, more tense at the beginning, unless you have somewhat of the background of running long distance on the track or coming from the background. If not, I like come to community run. Very chill. It's a community vibe. You know, you get to meet people, you get to interact a little bit more, or come to other things that we do, whether it's mental miles or more. But I was like, I'm get a week free. I give people a week pass, and like if you like it and you enjoy it, then it's up to you if you want to be a member. If you don't, all good. You know, anytime we have these community runs and any other open events, you're more than welcome to follow. And I tell people I'm never gonna be the one to say, hey, you're not a member. Stop at the door. You can't come inside while we're doing this session, right? I think I created membership base because of the structure and the opportunity to allow myself to do this full time and be able to, you know, really appreciate what I'm providing for the community and also understand that I'm giving a lot of jewels and a lot of skills and knowledge and more for free, which is amazing, right? And everybody does that, right? But I thought what I've been doing is so precious, and because of the people around me, it's like, you might as well get compensated for what you're doing. Like you're a newly dad. You're bringing your son every day to the track with you. You were night and day. You were doing this, that. You built a whole marathon structure by yourself. You're doing all this without making a single dime. You know, and I think it was because of my community telling me that you can make money off it. You know, make money off your passion. And don't feel bad about it because people will pay because they know what you're providing for them. And I think now having that structure and that mindset has to help me evolve because I still value the community in every aspect. Yeah, I make money off a membership, but I'm not forcing the action to be members. I'm not throwing promotions like a Boeing Fitness and like, hey, got 10% off this week or this and that, right? This first year has been very organic and letting people just naturally want to become the members because they like what we're doing collectively together and they respect me as a coach and love the structure that I've built in this past 7 months of Goldfinger Track.
Well, that's been pretty interesting. Me and Courtney has had conversations, you know, to each other and even on this podcast about, you know, the kind of expectation as leaders run clubs to, you know, kind of do this for free, you know, as if it's like, you know, purely just charitable work and stuff like that. And, you know, as you do, you commit so much time and effort to create these programs and stuff like that. And Courtney, I mean, honestly, even more so than me with the marathon cohort last year, like that was a wild service that Nike does it and has done it on a personal, like an interpersonal level. Like she has done it when they had NRC at one point here in the city and stuff. And it cost them so much money to have a run club, to come in and have captains and pacers to train the runners during the marathon season. It got so expensive that's why they kind of cut it off from what I've heard and stuff like that. And, you know, here we are, here's Courtney, you know, doing this summer cohort, damn near basically for the free, we're not charging any of the runners to participate. And 7 on Sundays does a similar thing. Like, I don't think we'll ever make a jump to membership. I'm not sure. That's just not in the cards at this point. But there's something to say is running 7 on Sundays is a full-time job. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, me and my partner Aaron was having a conversation the other day. Think we both going through different changes in our lives, and it's just like, whoa, bro. Like, I gotta show up to Blue Bridge Tuesday every Tuesday. I gotta show up to 7 on Sundays every single Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We got like 5 different events planned this week. This summer and stuff like that. And it's at what point, outside of just feeling good and being happy and the smiles on our runners' faces, at what point does it benefit? Because he goes to his 9 to 5. I'm here at the store, 5-6 days out of the week. And it's just like, how do I prioritize this really free ass work that I'm doing?
But I think too, there's something to say that like all 3 of us don't have a corporate job. And so then like there's the run clubs that are led by people who have corporate jobs. So then they like this is a thing I do on the side. And I think, and like, I understand. And so then it's like, I think that's seen in a certain way. And then when people of color come in and we're a little bit more scrappy about it, and we're just like, no, like I'm a hustler. I'm going to just do this over here, do that over here. And then like, maybe I'll make up money over like doing this eventually, but it's up to me. It's like, we just approach our life differently. So then in these very like structured environments, I guess, where it's been primarily white led, and now you have these run clubs of color popping up. We're doing it differently, and then having to explain why we need to get paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super wild. But let me ask you this, Jerry, have you gotten any like pushback or blowback? Because I don't know if this is like a normal thing, if memberships are normal in your city. I've heard it like in places like DC. I think there's a Detroit club that has a membership and stuff like that.
Brooklyn Track Club has a membership.
Yeah.
Okay, there you
go. Right. I think it's a white led and a predominantly group called Central Park Track Club, but they're strictly like focused on racing, and that's it. So you don't see them in small things, anything community based, unless it's like Chelsea or Central Park or West Side. They stick to their own lane completely. But they've been charging membership way before any of us. And then there's Prospect Park Track Club, who charges as well. I just learned about. I always knew about them, but I know their history. They've been out for over like 30 years.
Wow.
But they charge like, I think they charge. I don't want to say, it was definitely under $50 for the year. However, they like have over 1,500 runners.
Yeah.
I don't know what
the Walmart
structure.
way.
Yeah. I don't know what the structure is, but because Adidas put all of us captains together, because they're now allowing communities and captains to do a little bit more with the umbrella of a brand without necessarily being signed. So we were able to learn a little bit more about our structures and stuff. Because like everyone was like, hey, I'm not membership based. I don't charge.
Right.
And then like, it's like Finley mentioned, like, right, Brooklyn Track, they do charge. And I think, I thought we would get a lot of backlash. I thought everyone was going to say like, yo, you were free last year, all this other stuff. But surprisingly, I had heard nothing since we did it. Before I did it, like other leaders was like, yo, I don't think you should charge this and that. When I was part of the New York City Marathon campaign, they were talking to me about like, yeah, you shouldn't charge. But I was like, I wear a different hat than you, because you got to remember, I was a full-time manager at my last employer. I'm a newly dad. I have a team of over 100 people and more in the community. And I was wearing several other hats all at the same time. And I'm giving all my time. And I was a full-time partner to the mother of my child. So, and I have to juggle all that.
Right.
And it was like, you got to realize especially you guys know, like having a counterpart, if they're not related to running, you got to constantly explain why you have to put so much time into running.
Right.
So those are always disagreements, and more like, hey, why you gotta wake up at 6 a.m. to go do a long run for yourself, and then you have to do one for your greater group, right? Just those kind of conversations and more. So I was like, I need to make sense. And if I come home to say like, hey, sweetie, this is my job, I'm getting compensated. So then it's not necessarily so much of an argument, because like, oh, I get it. This is what you do for a living.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah, like, right. You can't say nothing if now you got granted.
We buying groceries off of this.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Like we went to Portugal because of this, right? Like, right. Like, and my son is fed. My son has every diaper size and all that other stuff. And this is not a flex. This is saying because the job that I was working at, it paid okay. It paid the bills. But what about all the extra stuff? I live in New York City.
Yeah, this ain't a flex. It's a bare minimum. Like, like, make money. You know what I'm saying?
The most expensive city in the world.
Supposed to be doing.
And I have expensive taste, right? I have a great taste of fashion. I like to look good, feel good. I like to get my nails done, my hair done.
Got a great sense.
Yeah, right? Like, and right, I'm wearing this. So there's a lot of this luxury, right?
Yeah.
Because also feel good, look good, right? I want to be one of the most swaggiest running coaches. I don't want to just, I want to mix the cotton with the dry fit, just cause wear the crop top with this. So I just needed to make sense. And once people just knew who it was when I started to do it, like no one gave me backlash. Like I really had zero expectations. And I really doubted myself for the first time. I said, wow, when I go to membership, I'm literally going to have nobody from my community join like that. I was like, I had goal numbers, but I was like, in realistic, I was like, I may just have 20 members. I was like, people are going to look at it like, I ran with you the whole summer for free and all this other great stuff. And I got singlets, tanks, all these benefits. I got into the marathon. You gave me all this last year for free. Now you want to charge me for those benefits. And it showed by certain characters because, right, like our runs used to be huge last summer. Like I said, right, Long Island, Staten Island, Bronx, Yonkers, all coming to a 6 a.m. track workout.
Yeah.
To a point where the community was mad at us because our track, it was too much. Like we don't have that many public tracks, right? Brooklyn Track Club pretty much owns McCarran, right? So it's overwhelmed and everybody else is there at McCarran. So we only have one track that belongs to a school. And there's a lot of people from the community, like elderlies just jogging, walking. They don't know track etiquette. So they're just powering through. And then here you go, 50 people charging through lane 1. So we were getting complaints every week. To a point where we're getting kicked over one side to the other. They're like, yo, keep your bags towards this gate. We don't want you to be on this side of the track. Like every week.
Matter of fact, just don't come.
That was my greatest fear. I was like, oh man, we're about to get kicked off. Imagine, right? I got to talk to 100 different personalities about track etiquette and being respected. Some people, it's early morning, right? Not a lot of people are morning people. So the fact that they come 2-hour commute, right? And then they hear someone bickering about them about, oh, get out my lane and all that other stuff. And then it's like, I gotta, diffuse the attention. So it was a lot. It's to a point where the custodians like, yo, listen, man, I like you, Jerry, but your group, I got one more and y'all done after this. So it was like the toughest. So there was a lot of those kind of things. So that's why when I made a membership base, I knew it would be a lot smaller, but it'll be a lot more I can control than a greater community, because a community, I don't know how many numbers I can get. Right, with membership, I know I have 80 members. Will I get 80 at the same time? No. New York City, people's back outside, PTO, wedding season. I don't run marathons. I don't do this. Running was my social aspect. I don't care for running, like training for races. So no, I won't get that. But I have the membership. But so I know what I can control, how many people show up. So it's been a true blessing, honestly. Where I've already been thinking about year 2 and how to continue to better myself, because there's a lot of growing pains that people don't tell you. And I don't have no OG. I have literally leaders in the community don't hold each other down as much to tell you, hey, this is how you should do it, this or that. The only mentor I have,
is that?
Competitiveness, egos, a lot of egos. Honestly, I probably get my best advice and my most advice for someone who already has a membership base that his brand is kind of under the radar, which is weird. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Joe Shane and Jen. They have teamwork and pace runs. They were like the first Black running organization in New York City to have races for our community and still put on races during the pandemic while everyone didn't want to, right? They were the ones who kind of created the safe space for social distance races and all. Because they're very low key and they have a certain audience, but they have a membership base. They have a lot of elder leads that run with them, and they have a few younger people. But they have people who have priorities itself that are going after it. So they have like Walker Pace, which is like people who are just, hey, I'm never gonna run 4-hour marathon, but I want to run a marathon in 5 hours and 55 minutes. So be it. Right. And he has a membership base, and he's the one who always been in my ear. Yo, you got to get paid. You got to pay. Tell these brands they can't pay you with product. You got to do this. So he's always been a real good mentor to me.
Ditto that.
especially when I became a dad. He said, yo, this brand cannot, like, this is not going to give you a diaper. You can't trade this in for that, right? You can't get the latest XYZ shoe, and that's going to be. So Joe Shane has been really a good mentor to me. And Teamwork is a membership base, which is team run. We run Kings County. That's their name and all that stuff. But yeah, it's an ego thing. You know, New York is very competitive and no one wants to see each other eat. And that's the biggest problem because we're the ones who have probably the most run crews in the world, I say, but we're the most divided. We cannot collab. We cannot be in the same spaces at all. The only time we're in the same spaces is when we're running New York City Marathon. Right. We're running this 5K and this and that. But then you'll see 100 of these singlets and 4. Like, that's the only time you ever see the unity, unfortunately.
So, does any other Black organizations like host like different? Because this will probably come out, after the fact. But today is Thursday, so tomorrow we have Take the Bridge coming to Chicago. 7 on Sundays is hosting it here at my store at Last Stop Corner Store. And
I don't like those people at all.
You see how Jerry is? You see how Jerry is?
I don't like them at all.
He said, fuck them. They can stay over there.
Yeah, I don't like Take the Bridge at all.
You don't like Take the Bridge?
I don't like Take the Bridge at all.
And listen, this is gonna be
I respect what they do. I respect what they do. Fire. I just the people who are behind it. I don't know if it's still the same faces and all, but we had our moments. Yeah, funny enough, it's happened in Chicago actually too. When I ran my first marathon, when they were in Chicago doing Take the Bridge.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you ain't gonna say no names, I can't speak nothing to it.
No.
Yeah. So, but we're gonna have it. It's gonna be a fire ass time here on the South Side, and it's gonna be the first time that the event is gonna take place here on the South Side. And I already know, like, we sent out personal invitations to like about maybe 15 different 20 different run clubs and stuff like that. Personal invitations to let them know, hey, this is what we're doing, this was going on. I know a good amount of them have responded. Some of the runners have signed up and stuff like that. And a lot of I say that to say that a lot of our run clubs share a lot of the spaces. A lot of us hold races, a lot of us hold events, and all of us kind of go to all of them and stuff like that, because all we do have is like Chicago, Shamrock, the Hoka half, and the Chicago Spring half and stuff like that. So it's like 4 races. But then like we wanted to turn up. Them races are like super corporate. You know, they got a formula. You just show up in your corral in the morning, you run it, you get your medal and your beer and your banana, you go home and stuff like that. Whereas like, us, like, it's a vibe. Like, we showing up, like 30 minutes before race time and stuff like that. And like, I've never seen a runner for none of our races show up right before the race starts and stuff like that. But Chicago Marathon, we pulling up with like 5 minutes left before the corral closes, right? And so for our races, people showing up 30 minutes before, chilling, vibing, doing all these things, warming up together. Then they compete, they go for each other's throat. And then afterwards, we taking shots of tequila out of a cone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we having a good old time and stuff like that. And I'm just wondering, like, is there a space for that to be created in New York, because I do follow some New York runners and stuff like that. And when I see events happening, unfortunately, like a bunch of really dope ass white people enjoying themselves on the streets of New York. And I'm like, where the black runners at? Like, I know a bunch of black runners from New York, but like, why they not there running and racing too? You feel me?
Yeah, man. It's unfortunate. So like, right, we have pace runs, right? For example, this might be controversy, but that's the only, this is why I'm me, right? So for example, Pace Runs hosts their second annual Juneteenth 5K, right? So this is the day before Juneteenth, because last year actually fell on the same date. So they did it on Juneteenth last year, right? Like I said, Pace Runs still holding it down for the community while New York Road Runners was figuring things out. All these big corporations, Pace Runs was pushing it, getting the people together, creating races that were for us, by us. They come back this year, second annual. Here goes, and I'm not going to say they knew or not, but here goes OSR doing a midnight half marathon the same day, but at midnight.
Right.
So now priority, since OSR is a predominantly white running fast group in New York City.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
I saw that race, that midnight race.
Yeah, that everyone is obsessive with. Everyone's in
I
love
want to
with
steal the
them.
idea and do it here in Chicago.
Yeah.
What does it stand for?
Sure. Ultra Street Runners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So everybody comes out for them. Everyone's obsessed. They bring, and now especially like since they're sponsored by Nike, so bigger funds, and they went all out this year.
Yeah, that was crazy like, from what I saw.
You would have thought like this was a pay-per-view. Like I couldn't like, and I didn't want to do it. One, because it's Juneteenth. Why would I be supporting?
Yeah.
That organization when I should be supporting our people, right? But no one. But you know, we're not conscious anymore. It's 2022. We don't care. Black Lives Matter is over. We're not protesting. Black people getting killed. Like that's back to normal. I got my job again. That's that. Inflation's going up. Whatever. Right? No one cares about nothing that they cared about in 2020. Everyone's back to their lives, right? So it's like now it's like, oh yeah, Pace Runs is cool, but it's not as competitive because it's a community. So that's kind of a smaller scale. There's nothing to really showcase for that. But I'm going to go to OSR Midnight Half because they have lights, camera, actions, 45 photographers, video props, dinners. They had security guards.
Nah.
I'm like,
yo,
what? And this is all for an unsanctioned race.
Yeah.
At midnight.
That sounds right. No, that it was crazy.
We got it.
You know what? I did not notice what day it fell on, but when I was just talking, that was kind of.
I said, I knew it's Juneteenth. It's Juneteenth. It's midnight, so technically, maybe that it's technically the 20th. Maybe that's
no. It was midnight. So it was the 18th midnight going into the 19th.
Oh, so it was okay. So
Pace Runs was 8. Pace Runs did the race on the 18th Saturday morning. However, people were like, I'm not. Some of my team, shout out to my team, Sasha, Thomas, Glenn, they all showed up to Pace Runs, ran the 5K, and then they ran the midnight half.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And mind you,
I see that.
You can do that.
And then, like, obviously, like Juneteenth is a big day for us.
Right.
We celebrating. We all over the place. Barbecues. Everything.
So exactly.
We outside.
Exactly. But therefore, right, I was doing my second annual Black Miles Matter solidarity run. Coffee and Power, they have a thing called Running to Protest, which falls on Coffee's birthday / Father's Day. So it was a lot to that date. But everybody was so obsessed with the midnight half where it's like, oh, I'm not going to these solidarity runs. I already did my contributions by racing previously. No, after the midnight half, I'm going to go drink beer. I'm not getting home till 3 a.m. And then I'm not going to put an alarm because Sunday is only Father's Day. For me, it's not has nothing else to do with nothing else that's going on. So me and like Coffee all lost amount of people that would have normally showed up to our things. because the priority was already at midnight for OSR. Same way like pace runs didn't have the amount of audience that they were supposed to have that day, Saturday, because everyone was gearing up towards OSR. And this is no shade to OSR, right? By all means, like they had to do what they wanted to do. They solidified their date, whatever the case may be. But it wasn't, I don't think in their minds, it was like, hey, it's Juneteenth. It might be a conflict for those who celebrate, those who know the knowledge of it and more. And that's why I told myself.
Those who observe Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Because it's not a Macy's sales yet. That's why.
It's a motherfucking national holiday now. You can't say shit. And
they're waiting for when the Juneteenth sales come in. That's when it will be. When the Macy's start having the 40% off. Seriously. Juneteenth, H&M going crazy. When all these corporations start having these big Juneteenth sales, then they're like, because like we said in our speech, how many people, because it came in national holiday, how many people have the day off the following day? Because they knew that it fell on a Sunday. So, right, last year it became, so everyone was actually off, right, for those who work retail or whatever thing. And then who work corporate. When VBR mentioned that, it was only half of us who raised their hand and said they were off. So a lot of corporate jobs already knew that needed to be a day off the next day to honor that. And some jobs was like, well, that was a day. And now you get back to the office on Monday. So,
I mean, but what I would say though, too, is that say something to these people. Because also it's like, I mean, who knows? I mean, because sometimes what I've noticed is specifically in non-white spaces is like, they're always gonna come at it like, oh, but I had nothing but good intentions. I'm doing this for my community. It's fine. And it's just that they're completely blindsided because statistically, and this is not a lie, on average, white people have 0 to 1 black friend. Just like across the board, across the United States. So if you put that into perspective, if you don't have a black friend, if most white people don't have black friends in their life, okay, they're not going to be really alerted to the importance of Juneteenth. So then it's like sometimes somebody's got to just drop in the DM and say, hey, like, I love what you're doing, but I would be conscious of the fact that this is a national holiday for the black community. And if you are considering diversity and inclusion here, you might want to pick a different weekend so that everybody can participate, but also be celebrating the thing that we care about most. And honestly, y'all should be coming over here. Love you, best intentions. This is with love, but switch it up.
Yep. 100%. And I agree on that.
Even 7 on Sundays, like, my point-to-point relay was originally the weekend of Juneteenth and stuff like that. But once, and we sponsored, by Nike, but once the Peace Runners, who's heavily involved with like Lululemon, the leader, I think, is an ambassador for Lululemon Jack. Once he made the announcement they was doing a Juneteenth 5K, we was like, shit, say less. Like, we moved it like 3-4 weeks down the road and stuff like that. Even though we told Nike, like, they gave us some money for it, some money to help us, put together the race. We gave them the dates already, but once he said that, he was like, no, we're gonna push this down. We're gonna run this chill 5K with the Peace Runners and support and celebrate with them. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, there's space for conscious planning and whatnot. But also, when I looked at the photos, once again, like, this is just an example. This is not a shot at Orchard Street. But my question was more so around the fact that even when I was looking on their IG, like I didn't see a lot of Black Run clubs involved in that. So I was like, is this also, just like was just a bunch of OSR's runners competing against each other? Or was there like other run crews coming in and competing in this midnight half? Like, does New York like have, whether it's like low competitive or like high competitive races where like all of the run clubs come in and just like, you know what I'm saying? Goldfinger finna fuck up the Black Roses. Harlem Run finna come through and surprise everybody because they've been training crazy in the early spring. Like, do y'all have that kind of atmosphere where it's like, certain races where y'all come together and y'all do mingle. Y'all do run with each other. Y'all do run against each other.
Yeah. So I would probably say I'm probably one of the first people to make sure that was something I implemented to my group last year. Right. Everybody, especially in New York City, right? We were slowly getting back to it. Every crew organization had their own races happening, right? And I can probably say, and everybody who listened to this out there, Goldfinger was at every race of that, especially myself, while I was training for a marathon. I went to Queens Distance, which is more of a mixture of Asians and Hispanics. I did a long run going all the way to Queens. I did that. Me and Sasha went all the way to Harlem, Randall's Island to do the 1 miler after that controversy they had against Brooklyn Running Co. During the pandemic when Allison kind of just expressed what happened between changing the dates that they weren't willing to do that. Pace runs. I went to every community race last year and supported every of them, no matter, and made no excuses. Mind you, I'm a newly dad. My son is like 3, 4, 5 months, and I'm at every space showing love to everyone. And if I wasn't there, somebody from GFTC was there. But I gave 90% of my time to it because it doesn't matter to me about being competitive. It's about support. And I even created a group chat for all crews in 2020 to align. So, hey, we know when people are having things, how we can support these things and how things don't crash. Like we're not both doing something on the same date.
Yeah.
So hey, you already put in your calendar that you're going to do something this date. So I know to move mine around that. So I'm going to support you here. Right. And the thing what I love about Instagram chats is you get to see everybody who saw the message. So there's no one to say, I did not see it.
Right.
See it.
Yeah.
Right. And the acknowledgement might be a double like, right? That's even confirming, hey, I know you. I saw it.
Yeah.
Or I seen it and I ignored it. So there's a chat, right? I called it New York City Cruise. And then I did one that was called like Black and Brown Running Cruise, which was like a predominantly majority of half of New York City. Granted, maybe a few clubs are not in it or took themselves out. But everybody should know in the last 2 years, everyone knows, hey, I'm doing this. How can you support, right? So like Harlem Run, hey, I had this 1 miler last year. Guess how many crews showed up? Not enough. Pace runs, I have this. How many crews showed up? Not enough. Black Mile, when I had it last year. And everyone has excuses and makes these things up. But at the same time, it's because it's not as competitive or we don't have the funding of the backing of these big crew, like big brands. And that's all it comes down to. This is why I respect Adidas so much. I've always been a fan of them because I've known Adam, Quasi, Jess Zappos, and all AR for a long time, right before they even formed this. But the fact that they were able to change up the identity of Adidas runners this year, and they're the first crew out that were able to reach out to all Brooklyn leaders and have all of us in the same space. That has never happened in the six years of me in this running community. I've never been in the same space with Prospect Park founder, Women's on a Run, Rage and Release, Brooklyn Track, Black Man Run. All these leaders all in one space.
Yeah.
And Adidas not even asking us to sign no contract. They're saying, hey, we want to be able to start doing things and supporting you guys in any fit how, without being saying like AR sponsoring this or this or that. That was the first time, and I was stunned. I was shocked.
Right.
Right. And I was just like, yo, this is a photo worth framing, because I was like, when will we ever be in the same spaces non-running?
Yeah.
You know, right? Not a big corporation. So I love the fact that they did that. And I was just like, we need to do more of that. Because if New York City crews all came together and support each other's races, our numbers would be extremely large. New York pro runners would be nervous. Like, wow, they can do this. They can get, right? And I think Pace Runs, I think their biggest time during the pandemic, I think they were able to get like, you know, they had to minimize how many people, but right, the 150 to 200, right? And that's amazing for such a smaller organization. New York Road Runners is 1,500 to 10,000, right? The Brooklyn Mile that's coming up in 2 weeks, they're about to have over 1,500 people just race 1 mile. But like a person like me who has the race called the Black Mile will be lucky and blessed to have 50.
Yeah.
Right. And there's probably over 50 run clubs, and people and every run club has over 20 runners.
Mm-hmm.
But I will probably get like a 1 or 2 of those just because the support thing is just not there for us. Unfortunately, it's just a competitive aspect. It's just like I'm hosting a beer mile this weekend, and we always talk about right. It doesn't matter about the numbers, right? It's all about the quality. I care about the quality of everything, right? But we know, like I said, right, when I did the Black Mile in 2020, it was the first competitive race right on the election weekend, because that was supposed to be New York City Marathon weekend, but got canceled. Large amount of people, I think over 150. The following year, I don't even know, probably like under 50.
Right.
And probably this year, who knows? I don't even know a date because there's a race every weekend, and that it's overwhelming because like I said, I'm the guy who's very respected. When we put in our chat, hey, there's a race, this is this, I'm like, okay, I can move. And the thing about me, since I'm not tied into a brand,
so your beer mile. So hold on, your beer mile went from 150 to just 50 runners, and then this year you trying to see if you can at minimum hit 50.
Yeah. Oh no. So the Black Mile.
The Black Mile.
The Black Mile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beer Mile. And I get the Beer Mile. Beer Mile is it's a different kind of runner.
Wow. I did one. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. So, it's just a lot. It's a lot.
I can take 10 people for that.
So do you think the numbers dropped because the pandemic is over, or do you think the numbers dropped because the product wasn't maybe popping as hard, or do you just feel like people just don't want to come and support you because they have their own run clubs?
I think a mixture of everything, right? The pandemic was definitely because we're all competing with the bigger corporations now. Then, right? They found they're back. They know how to exactly align, and they can get. Now, brands don't even have to make announcement until 2 days before, and they'll get everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Like, granted, like I won't say it. A brand literally just announced that they're bringing back runs 2 days ago, like 2 days before the actual run. And I guess how many people showed up? 300. We have to plan and coordinate a date and promote it every day for the next 3 months. We got to be in. I sent out probably 1,000 DMs a week on my events. I literally go through all my followers and DM my flyer, because the always thing is, I didn't see it. Now they have a reason to, because Instagram algorithm, right?
Yeah.
But I literally go through the whole DMs, and then I go to cruise. I'll go to exactly to like, say, Gumbo Media's in New York. I'll go to all your followers and I'll DM all of them my flyer. Literally spend 5 hours DMing everybody about my event, and that's happening, right? For me not to pay the promotion for it to spin around. So it's right now that the world's back to where it's at. It's like it's small crews and community versus big brands and companies. It's all about, because they can provide. They're going to give you cameras. They're going to give you waters. They're going to give you product. The only thing we can give you is an experience, memory, and support. And that doesn't match up what a brand can give you, because you're going to get 5 different professional photographers. I'm going to give you iPhone quality photo. I'll airdrop you the photo right now, right after. They're going to send you a Dropbox links in 24 hours so you can share it through social media.
And look cool.
And look cool as shit. I got the perfect stride.
All right. Look at this lighting.
No glare on your face. Everything. Like
nice
your profile pic.
You skin glistening.
You can use this to the LinkedIn. This is going to be your next profile picture.
You know,
I'm a runner. To slow motion. I got to catch you on live and screenshot that and give you that one. Right?
Yeah.
And so it's that. And then it's just overall, it's just like, it's tough in New York City because, like I said, right, everybody figured out a formula to create their own races for their community. Mm-hmm. And it's very competitive. But people look at it like, oh, well, I won't see Brooklyn Track Club here. Like, at least they're a lead squad, so I won't run this. Or I won't see Central Park here, so I won't do this. But it's like, and I always say, in order for us to get better, we got to go against the best of the best. So that's why I got to pull up to like a Tracksmith Twilight Series to race everybody who's 10 times faster than me. That's going to smoke me. and whatnot. But I would love for someone of those competitive spirits to come to these local crews, right? That's why I love Brace the Bronx, because they were able to get that support for their first race, get fast people to pull up, because we want to be challenged, right? And not to knock the smaller communities down and they're competitive, right? There's still a lot of people that's competitive, but the also aspect is when we do races for our communities, for the next door neighbor who never ran a 5K before, can literally run a 5K that doesn't break his pocket, and he can do it at convenience and not taking a 2-hour commute. He can literally walk 2 blocks down.
Well, look, I think a couple things you're mentioning here. One, yes, there are runners out here who only want to run competitively because they're fast, so they want to show off how fast they are. To me, I think that's a little unfortunate and a little easy for people to do. I think that's just an easy thing. Oh, you're fast, so you're going to go and run fast. Great. Yeah. I would challenge everybody. Yeah, if you're like, and this is part of the reason why we do this podcast too, because it's like the goal partially for me at least is like just to get into people's ear and let them understand like our perspective as runners of color, specifically Black runners, of just like, yo, like, okay, you're fast. You have your fast run club and everyone looks like you in your run club. Great. Fantastic. But like, it's a community and running is a community. Being a part of like these races where you're the first in the top 25, whatever, good for you. But then it's like, it wouldn't be as fun if there wasn't more runners there. Yeah. Part of the greatness of being a runner and participating in these races is the community. So at some point, when are you giving back?
Yeah.
And if it's like, sure, you might pay for your run club, but at the same time, there's no reason why you can't like meet other people, because this is an opportunity also to just like network. And it's like, I feel, and sometimes when you're at a plate, when you see these runners or people in the community who feel like they don't need to be given anything from somebody else, like they don't need it, like they don't need to show up to these other things because what are they going to get from it? It's like, not the only one that can provide something to others. Like you can learn from everyone around you. And I think that's the part that is not clicking. It seems like there's just a part where it's like, well, what's my benefit if I'm not getting timed and I can't have bragging rights? Yeah. It's about spending time in the community and getting to know the space you live in. You know, you share New York, and y'all are all there together.
Just adding that time element, like changes who signs up and who will sign up and who won't sign up. And that's why I know when me and Aaron are planning races for 7 on Sunday, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to elevate the experience of the runner and stuff like that. And from all ends of the spectrum, from the slowest runner to the fastest runner. And we do that by like tweaking things, you know, like the point to point was a team relay. You know, there was teams that signed up that they knew they wasn't going to win, you know, but they trusted that the experience that they would and the fun that they was going to have running with their friends would make up for that. The camaraderie, the ability to push themselves and do the best that they could and stuff like that. And we kind of include that conversation in our messages, in our messaging when we talking to people. It's like, like this is a competitive race. This is to see there's a first and there's a second place, you know, and the second place was honestly like last minute decision, because it was really only a first place when we started this concept. So it's competitive. Come, be fast, run as hard as you can, but also do your personal best. And we remember to include that in our conversation and stuff like that. And then there's stuff like this, Take the Bridge and things like that. Take the Bridge is a competitive run. It's a competitive race. It's built like that. It's for the run. It's a runner's race and stuff like that. But even the way I kind of planned that out, you know, of course, it's on the south side of Chicago. So if you live in a community, you have a slight advantage. So speed isn't the only way to win this, right? It's also knowing where you're going. But then you might know where these checkpoints are. You might know the location, but are you going to choose the best route to get there? So even if you live in this community, you might have one step up, but you can easily make a mistake and end up running slower because now you done chose the wrong route because you didn't know the best way to get there and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to say is like, as much as I can, I try to even the playing field as much as possible. Sometimes there's no space for that. But if there isn't space for that, then I try to figure out a way to elevate the experience. So the person who comes in last has just as big of a smile as the person that came in first.
Straight up. I love that.
But also, Jerry, I would just say fuck them, because I would just do what you want to do. You know what I mean? If there's not a lot of people there, they don't need to be there anyways. Like half the time they fuck up the vibe.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I said it, right? I used to be the person who would be frustrated. And this is the growing of me in like 2016 versus person I became during the pandemic. Like that would have affected me long ago. Right. But that's why I think I'm probably the most controversy runner because of my past. People refer to me as a loose cannon. They don't know what they're going to get from me because I don't hold back. I'll name drop. I'll say X, Y, and Z. I don't have a publicist team that they code up. Don't say this. Don't say that. Refrain from this. I literally would speak my mind and not be afraid, no matter how bad it will hurt me or my brand. I'm a little bit more cautious because I know I'll affect GFTC. That's why I try to always kind of create a space where it's GFTC and then there's Coach Jay and Jerry, because everything how I feel, I don't put it on my team. I didn't tell my team, hey, because I care about Juneteenth, this is my people, don't go to OSR. Right. I give them all the blessings and I supported them. I said, hey, Sasha, Thomas, Glenn, Elevation Dave, you go do there, be a representation and show them why you're there.
Right.
I would never, because of how I feel, or like, hey, I'm not going to support Brooklyn Running Co. because what they did to Allison, don't run the mile. I would never, my team would tell you, I would never tell them not to do that. I say, be the example and show them what we're doing over here to understand. But how I feel is my personal reason, but I wouldn't knock them out. But I think that's what I say, my growth. And I think overall, like, that's why I still do these races, right? Like I'm the one who created GFTC relays last year during the pandemic, the first track race to happen during COVID, and brought all the community out together. And then this year, I smashed it even better, not only reaching the running community and crews, but also getting talent from high school, parents allowed bringing their children and more, all in one space to have a beautiful track meet and all that other stuff. And it didn't matter to me if it was 7 people or 70 people. I was affected. The biggest takeaway was the fact that me as a parent, having the opportunity to see parents watch their children race, but also let their children watch their parents race. So they understand why mommy and daddy goes out for a long run. Why am I running with a running stroller at 2 years? How am I going to get my kid to understand a little bit more about running and seeing me? Because you can't see me run 7 miles on the road unless you're in the car and we're driving around. Good luck in New York City. We need to go upstate or something like that, right? You're allowed to see me run around, and I'm allowed to see my child experience their first race, because they'll remember this forever. And then who knows, if they become a runner, they're like, Mommy, remember when I ran a 100-meter sprint and all this other great stuff? So I love the fact that I'm creating what I said is priceless, these memories and these experiences that are far bigger than just what a brand can give you with product. Because that product will eventually torn, but the memory I give you will last forever.
Yeah, and you've been with a few brands, and like you mentioned, the New York Marathon. What was that? Is that New Balance?
Yeah, I had. Shout out to MB. Yeah, that was just for that moment.
Just for that moment. What are some of your favorite brands? Like, what are you wearing right now when you go running?
I'm a brand whore now. I have the luxury to finally start wearing multiple brands. I've always been a straight on Nike guy for so long. Now I have the opportunity to finally be able to, me being a Tracksmith ambassador. So now I get Tracksmith. Tracksmith complements my body so well. Like, it makes me look so cut, so slim. It got me looking the hoochie daddy shorts looking right. Like, I love it. And I would have never owned Tracksmith for so long. But now, Tracksmith looks amazing on me. So shout out to Tracksmith.
Okay. So you are an ambassador, though.
Yeah. I'm an ambassador.
In a way, that is what you prioritize wearing.
No, not necessarily, because I still have the freedom to wear what I like at the same time. Like, right, if this is not comfortable for my setting, I'm still going to wear Nike, right? Like, I love Nike Vaporflies to the day I die. And, right, my team predominantly all wear Nike singlets because my relationship with Nike, they were able to take care of us when I created memberships. I was able to make 90 singlets for Nike, for like all our members in that Nike singlet. And then, And then my relationship with New Balance. So I have the luxury to work with a lot of people. So right now I wear Nike, Hoka, Tracksmith, New Balance. Just kind of depending on my field, depending on the race itself.
But you know what? I kind of like that because I think that also speaks a little bit more to the actual runner because you know, I know like for me with 7 on Sundays have being sponsored by Nike and stuff like that, the minute I open my mouth about how dope I love the Alpha Flies, it's discredited because it's like, oh, but you signed by Nike, so you're supposed to say that.
Little bias,
like,
right?
Nah, like it's fact. But like if the brands are smart and they would be like, have like a little bit of flexibility, like, you know, let me pull up, you know what I'm saying, with my Aero Loft on top of my Nike, actually my Nike half tights mixed with a Tracksmith singlet and stuff like that. And, you know, people like, oh, Ian knows what to wear. Like, he knows what's comfortable. He knows what feels good and stuff like that. He's not just wearing this because, you know, he's paid to wear it, even though, you know, with Nike, I'm not. I love that shit regardless. I would wear it. I would pay for it. But it's like, they don't understand like that level of authenticity when you get to like mix your fits, you know, put together, wear what it is that you want to wear right there in the moment. They like, nah, nigga, we gave you a check, like wear my shit. That's it.
That's it, right? Yeah. And then you also still have your own brand, like it's Goldfinger Track Club, like, or Goldfinger, the brand of like clothing. Is that still a thing?
Oh no. So I kind of ended that. We hit our 6-year anniversary for that clothing brand last April. So I did a final pop-up, bringing like old archives to life and like new stuff and like samples. To kind of conclude like ending that, because my mind wasn't focusing on that aspect. Like the world of streetwear wasn't the same. Everybody had access to do screen printing or vinyl or all that stuff. And I just didn't have the time. And Goldfinger Track Club, that brand was growing largely. And I wanted to put more time into that and more money into that. So I kind of did the farewell. I did a shirt. I don't know if you guys remember that Dexter meme. It's like Dexter with the poster and he's like this, like, like, oh, I failed you. So I did that. I did the original Goldfinger logo, which was just like a gold finger. And it's Dexter like this saying, I failed you, RIP Goldfinger, from 4/18/15 to 4/18/2021. Kind of. So now that clothing brand itself is non-existent. If you own it, shout out to you. I still see it somewhere around the streets. And so Goldfinger Track Club is everything I do in-house. And we're not sponsored because this was my first year membership. We had a lot of conversations with brands and all that great stuff, but I'm still learning a lot of things. And I love the strategists, people like, you know, Finley, right? And Brooklyn Trap, because they have coaches signed to all different brands. And that doesn't conflict of what Brooklyn Track Club is.
Sure.
And that's what I want to learn. I want to learn the same, because that's what the great thing about me is. Like, I'm the person who invites everybody to sit in the table with me, and I want everybody to eat. So I don't let nobody starve in my group. That's why we have the luxury of having, right? Sasha, she's with Bandit podcast, but then she's a Nike running coach. Right. And then it's just like several of my teammates are about to be the face of New Balance campaign this year for New York City Marathon. Some people are Tracksmith ambassadors in my group. Some of my teammates are part of No Name, which is Lululemon. Some of my teammates are Pacers for Nike. Right? Having that luxury, but now saying Goldfinger Track Club is Goldfinger Track Club, but every single member is allowed to eat with any other brand they desire. And they can wear what they feel with. And I want to continue to learn that, because I'm still, I don't know, right? Like, I'm sure you guys are more experienced because you guys seen what a contract look like and what they tell you and what they offer, right? But I want to know when I see a contract, right? And I always mention it. Probably one of my favorite movies of 2021 was King Richards, when they was trying to offer Serena and Venus contracts for these brands. He had his own contract, and he said, well, that's nice, but here's what my demands are. You're going to put all my kids, you're going to move them all out, you're going to pay full rides to college, XYZ. And it was like, and he didn't nudge for no brand. He knew the value of his daughters, right? Sitting one of them out, right? Not letting her go pro yet, this and that. He knew, and everyone thought he was crazy, but I thought that was genius because he knew the worth, right? Because I remember in the movie, they showed like Nike was offering us, like I think $2 million contract or something like that. And he denied it, and come to find out, him denying it, and then because it was favor if his daughter lost I forgot the final cup or whatever it was, that she would lose that opportunity. She lost and wound up getting a bigger contract from Nike, and the other daughter signed to Reebok or something like that for 10 times more,
right?
Because he didn't settle. And I was like, that's the value of how I see GFTC. Yeah. I'm not gonna sign to the first meeting I go into with a brand. I'm like, oh, we'll give you product, we'll do your tanks, we'll do your singlets, we do that. We'll give you a budget of however we do it for the year and that stuff. Right? I'm trying to continue to learn what that looks like and how does that make sense for a full year, because I have so much talent in Goldfinger Track Club, and they're not just runners. They're athletes, they're creators, they're models. And I've always, shout out to you, Courtney, I always tell people, my bigger vision for Goldfinger Track Club is to create what like Gumbo Media has, where all the talent is here. Like brands need to hire your talent to do these projects. Like we don't, like I don't work for the brand works for me. They need my photographers. They need my models. They need my graphic designers. They need, right? So everybody gets a bigger check than just being called, hey, you're a runner for this brand. No, actually, I'm an illustrator because I got paid for this gig. They didn't put me on as a model. They knew my worth. So there's like, hey, this is how much I'm actually going to get paid for this time and this date and more and more. And that's what I want to learn. And that's why I admire what you guys have been doing. And I'm a student to this game still. Like I'm learning, and I'm not biting the first hand that's being fed to me at all. Because people like Joe Shane and just more who told me like, you know, it's cool. And I've made so many relationships with our brands. I don't need to immediately like, yeah, I need this. My whole team needs to wear Nike the whole year round. And then but what if it doesn't complement my teammate's body so well, right? I have people in all different shapes and sizes, right? And what if this cut makes them feel uncomfortable, right? What if this split short is not, you know, the seam bothers here, but we're assigned to you. You can't wear the Lululemon bottom with the Nike top on Instagram, maybe in just there, right? So it's just learning all those things so I can understand it, and not just telling my team, hey, tomorrow we're officially signed to Hoka. Everybody like, whoa, I don't wear Hoka, you know, like, right? No respect to Hoka. Like, I love it. I wear lifestyle, and I'm a dad, so I need comfortable shoes to be walking around. But my whole team gotta wear, you know, and I limit you because since you're Goldfinger Track Club, you have to wear Hoka on race day, but you're loved out for Vaporfly every day. And now you have to wear your Hoka XD, whatever, and all that. So
yeah, for like 7 on Sundays, like none of our runners have to wear Nike. Like all of our runners wear multiple different things and stuff. We always, you know, we play the conversion game, you know, when we're able to drop some merch to our runners, you know, it definitely got the swoosh on it and stuff like that. One of my runners, she took the Nike trail that she got from my shop on, like her and her husband did like a week hike across like some island or something. And she was like, this is the first trail I've never got a blister in, you know, but I don't recall ever seeing her. I know her husband doesn't wear Nike shoes when they run in and stuff like that. So, you know, we constantly introducing a product, but there's no like pressure to wear it. The only time there's like, hey, can you wear this Nike is if we doing like a photo shoot. Me, Craig, and Aaron, we wear Nike when we run in, when we're leading 7 on Sundays, or when we're like hosting events, and if anybody's volunteering and stuff like that, like we have like a small set of runners that help us, you know, plan and manage the events that we host. Like, hey, we ask them, hey, like on event day, you know, wear the swoosh or wear something where it's not showing another brand and stuff like that, because we definitely taking photos. But outside of that, like, no, all of our runners do.
I mean, you can't control what people wear. Yeah. I mean, even like, I think that's what, Jerry, you're talking about is like, if you like your team, it's because that's what it's about. You can't control what runners wear in general. But like, when you do sign to a brand, your team is expected to wear that brand. And it's like, and that it is what it is.
But it's like your team, like the people that's like the administrators.
Yeah, your team, the team that runs the run club. Yeah, exactly. You can't control what the runners wear.
For sure.
You can't. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
That would not. Yeah, that's crazy.
Listen, I struggle to tell my team to wear uniform. Like race day, I'm like, yo, everybody wear their black and gold top. And next, it'll be a pink one, a yellow one, this, that, and it is what it is. I just just as long as it has the logo, I'm fine with it. So I'm not tripping. As long as people know. as long as I got the little finger right here or a big bold right here, Goldfinger Track Club, so people know, because we're a very popular crew. So lights, camera, action when they see this here. So they might never know who you are, but they'll snap it because they see that right here. So.
Well, okay. So then just as a kind of a wrap up, is there anything you want to let your audience know, our audience know about you, Goldfinger, what they can, because obviously people should come out and run with you if they're in New York.
Yeah.
Start there. Yes. But what do you want people to know?
I want everyone to know that we're a cool, calm, collective, and diverse group. You can always run with us, especially people from out of town. Some of your teammates they were here for the New York City Marathon. I'm sure some of them will be here now because, I'm always about blessing people. So getting people where they need to be. So if they need a New York City bib, holla at me, take care of you. Always got to take care of the family. Yeah, so pull up on us, not only just on Thursdays. If you're out of town, just DM me. We're always open to allowing people to get a taste of just what GFTC is about. And just, we're going to continue to shift the culture however we can. The Black Mile is coming soon. We're going to continue to just push forward for those who look like us, feel like us, act like us, and just letting them know that running's for the cool kids now. And it doesn't matter how you look or anything like that. As long as you want to be active and you want a healthier lifestyle, we are here to implement that. And also we're here to create safer space for mental health. Mm-hmm. Having these conversations, right? That's why I created this thing called Mental Mile Mondays, where we don't even run yet. We talk for 15 to 20 minutes. We do a check-in scale of 1 to 10. How you feeling?
Wow.
Family, business, etc. Because in running, we don't ever get to talk. We run and then we disperse. And some people cannot run and talk at the same time, or still people are trying to get to know each other or trying to figure out their way. But I have icebreakers so everyone has the opportunity to meet and talk to each other. And Mental Mile Mondays is allowed that because, wow, I didn't expect, I came here for a 3-mile run or a tempo. I didn't expect to have a kumbaya moment and tell you about I'm going through these depression. I just lost my job. My wife is this, or I'm struggling to have postpartum. All these things that you would never know about a runner because in hindsight, social media doesn't allow us to be vulnerable. We only allowed to praise on our success, never our failures. The moment we say we're failing is a natural disaster. No likes, maybe 1 to 2 people will react or say something, and that's it. But if you're succeeding and you're winning, then hey, praise Courtney. Oh my God, you did that trail. Oh, you look phenomenal. But if you say, hey, I need help, I'm struggling. Oh, okay, that's whatever. Yeah. So just letting people know that GFTC, that's all we're about. We're more than just running. And when we continue to build this foundation, we're going to be able to spread our wings and just take over different cities and countries and just be the best we can be. And hopefully this outlives me and I could retire at the age of 45 and I could just sit back and watch what we created and just hopefully see the next generation, because I'm all about the next generation. So shout out to my baby boy, Jax.
Yes. How's your son? Just give us a quick update.
Son is good. He just turned 2. We're not saying terrible 2s, it's incredible 2s. Don't wish upon me or my son. My son is tremendous. He's smart. He's brilliant. He's excellent. He is a king. He's never been a prince in his life since he came here. He's the greatest gift to myself, to my partner. And I'm just super grateful for having a beautiful son, and hopefully I continue to grow a beautiful family in the near future to anybody who wants to build with me and all that great stuff. And I love my team. I love New York City. I love Brooklyn, and we're outside.
Did you just say you're trying to have more babies?
Yeah, not like Nick Canyon, but
you said to anyone who is interested out there.
I'm single, but but I'm calm. Next 2 or 3 years, I would love to continue to grow this family because Jackson needs a sibling, and whoever wants to be that queen of my life,
Oh my God, bro!
I'm ready for all that great stuff.
This is the place to say it, though. I welcome these announcements on this podcast because you never know. You never know.
Yeah,
man. You never know.
Looking for my missus in 2024. Come find me, or I'll find you. All right. We don't do the app game. You find me, and we don't date runners either. Okay, but you'll hear about it on my podcast because I got a podcast coming soon too. Talk to me nice, or don't talk to me at all, baby.
And just like that is Jerry Francois. Thank you so much for joining us. You know what I mean?
Thank you guys for having me.
You know, Ian, my bad. Did you have something to say? You was about to.
Nah, listen. The energy was proper.
Proper.
I've been waiting for this. So
honestly.
Thank you two for giving me this opportunity. Truly, I don't do enough podcasts. I don't get enough interviews because I said a lot of people don't like me for some strange reason. I'm very likable. I'm very handsome, and I'm adorable.
I can't tell why. You seem very lovable to me.
Yeah, cool dude.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, and we'll be looking out for your podcast in the near future. Hopefully you can, you can have us on anytime.
Of course. And I hope to visit you guys soon in LA, in Chicago. Hire Coach Jay because I need more money to do these travels so I can start connecting, get in the trails with Courtney, pull up on 7 on Sundays. It's only right, baby.
Yeah. So you already know on that note, join Goldfinger Track Club for their monthly mental miles, they Wednesday track, they Thursday community runs, they Saturday
get you a membership.
Runs. They monthly trail runs, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Go digging for gold with Goldfinger, you feel me?
Yeah.
Shout out to Thomas, Gemma, Sasha, Katie, Yesenia, Jamel, Dejanay, Angelo, Glenn, the whole GFTC family. I'm done. I'm going to stop talking.
Wow.
Peace and love and prosperity to you all. Have a blessed day and blessed week.
Most that, bro. Peace.
All right. Jerry's always a good time. I'm honestly just glad that he kind of gave us our introduction to the NYC running community officially.
Yeah. I'm enjoying. I hope that we can speak to more running leaders.
I got my eye on a couple people. They know who they are.
Yeah. I want a full picture of what's going on up there in New York.
Actually, I have a couple people.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not even hit it. Okay. I just had a thought. I had a thought. Yeah. So stay tuned for more on that. Jerry said what he needed to say.
2000%. We can't repeat it. It is what it is. But I do hope New York figures it out, and I hope when we get to speak to other run club leaders, we kind of figure out what else is behind it and stuff like that, because I think it would be so dope. It would be lit as hell if they were able to, like I said, from the outside looking in, like if they was able to do what we do, it would be like
different,
crazy, because they have the numbers, they have the clubs. It would be ridiculous.
It would be mob-like.
Like, oh my God.
You could really show up and do some shit if they came together.
You remember on IG when it was like all of these posters circulating where they like had the black men like dressing up and like the suits and stuff like that, and it'd be like a video or like a photo shoot and stuff like that. I think it might have started in DC or Detroit or something, maybe New York, but it was like floating around the country. People was like doing their own versions of it and stuff. Like New York could do that with running and stuff like that if the track clubs were a little bit more cooperative, I feel like. But this is also me speaking from a place of pure ignorance, not really knowing everything and the network. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just Jerry could have been spot on, but he also is speaking from his perspective. So I'm just curious to see what everybody's perspective is.
Other perspectives, yeah. I have to say what he has said has been consistent with what I have heard from other people. And so that's how I feel. And I feel like ultimately, we'll just have to see.
Yeah. So, we'll have to see. I can't wait to speak to more of the run club leaders and see where we are with it. I'm excited. I know we're going to have some more Chicago runners here on the podcast coming up. We are so close to the Chicago Marathon.
Very.
it's
palpable.
Very, very close.
I can taste it.
I know, right?
I can hear the cheers.
You know, cheer section, Mile 23 finna be popping, busting once more and stuff. But hopefully we'll have an opportunity to elevate the weekend even more. So keep a look out for that.
I just got this, I don't know. I have a feeling that it's going to be very hot.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why. I just do. I have a feeling. I mean, because last year it was like deceivingly hot because it was an overcast, but it still was like 80 degrees, you know? It was like at least 76, 78 degrees. You know? So
gonna be hotter?
I think it's going to be I think global warming is just changing everything. Obviously, it's changing everything. But I'm saying it seems like October really it's not even really cold.
No, it's not.
You know, it always has been mild, but now it's like.
Now, I remember when I used to have like put on like a coat over my Halloween costume.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That part. I feel like sometimes it gets cold by the end of October, but like the first, because this is always like the first weekend of October. So it's still basically September, which is like, and August is the hottest of the summer. So it's giving warm to me. It's giving warm. I just hope that it's not like freezing cold, but I just have a feeling it's going to be hot. So
yeah.
Hey,
I'm here for it.
Yeah. So my updates, I feel like I already kind of went through it. I'm in a home. I can get more updates on that, but ultimately it's great. I've been here now for almost a week. Come Saturday, we're recording this on Thursday. Ooh. So yeah. It's been good. I've painted upstairs in the attic for my little studio space. I'm on like coat 3 of primer because I just can't get thick enough on that damn turquoise wall. And I'm like, it's a struggle between me and that turquoise, and I just need it to go away. But I know that because I found out that I live here and that she had 4 kids.
Right.
And and so that was clearly their play area, or someone was, you know what I mean? Because it's like the stairs, the ladder falls down into one of the rooms. So they probably slept in the room, but then they probably had they probably also slept upstairs, and they was running the house, type. You know, and good for them. But a turquoise wall up there, I'm like, let's make it chic. Let's lighten it up a little bit. Let's, you know, this is about to be an adult space now. This is for me. So there's that. And then, just waiting for Matthew to come home so I can like ask him to do things like hang stuff on the walls. Cause I refuse. I refuse. I'm not doing it.
Like, so, how's things going?
It's not for me.
You sound a bit better.
Yeah, you coming home now? Because look, I need shit on the walls. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I need him to build.
We've been looking for a home. We have it.
Yeah, like then I'm not one to just be like, oh, you know, gender roles. It's like, no, me and my partner have figured out what he does best and what I do best.
There we go.
It's not to say that I can't do it or won't do it. I'm a very independent person, and I know I can hang things on the wall, but realistically,
don't take no shit. You gotta explain.
Realistically, I'm not going to do it as good as he does. He's a little bit more particular about like making sure, like I want my stuff straight, but he'll make sure it's straight. You feel me? So like, and secure into the wall, like,
you know,
all these things matter. And I'm like I said, I'm my father's daughter, and cleaning my home it's a big task. And I feel like I'm already doing my part. Yes. In many ways. I'm making it homey for when he comes home, you know? And then I got shit for him to do. That. Yeah.
I love that.
Also, since I'm in a home now, we have to take out the trash and put it in on the street.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just never done. I mean, growing up, when I lived in a home, my dad did that. And so then like yesterday, And it's like, we have someone who lives in the back house. And I've told you about this in LA. There's a front house, back house a lot of the times. And that's our situation. I live in a Black neighborhood. The woman who lives back there, her name is Miss Roz. She's a Black woman. We cool. She's cool. She's vibes. It's definitely I'm gonna have to warm up to her. And because you have to earn Black women's trust. And I respect that. And so respect. But ultimately I'm like, wow, we really not out here rolling out these garbage cans, big ass thing, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, and I texted her, I was like, I'm definitely getting Matthew to do this when he's in town.
Yes.
So don't even worry about it.
My husband is on his way.
Yeah, say like less. I'm not fucking around with these garbage. I'm not doing it. I'm not.
We not doing it.
You and me, Miss Roz, we're not doing it. Just wait till Matthew gets here, okay? And if you need anything done in your house, you have our number. You have his number. Right. Let him know. He'll change your light bulbs. He'll hang up shit. You know what I mean?
There we go.
He'll fix the door, like whatever you need to do. So
I love it. Husband for hire.
Yeah, exactly. So that is my update. And I have not been running as much, but my house is my workout right now. I'm about to work out today, this afternoon. Yeah, like I realize I do have friends in LA, which is great. I'm about to go later this afternoon. I'm working out with a friend. I just need to get back into it. That's really I just need to get back into it, and that's my goals at the moment.
I love it. Look at us. We both on some homeowner shit this week. I'm doing the same thing. I have become a quasi homeowner because my fiance owns a home, and she was about to get some yard work done, and then she's about to pay to have some yard work done, and then we found out how much that was gonna cost, and I was like, send me $30 and
baby,
we'll get this shit done.
Let's go to Home Depot.
Straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? I went to Home Depot. I bought me a new tool. You know, like I'm getting weeds and trimming branches. I'm like, no.
Oh my God.
We not paying Eduardo none of that. Like,
nope.
No, fam.
Nope.
Not at all. Yeah.
I will say that I'm looking into hiring a person to clean our home.
Okay. All right.
Because in LA, you can find somebody to clean your house. And even in Chicago, like I have a friend who has someone who cleans her home. And I'm just like, that's what I need. I think
I don't think I want that. I will say though, me and Karen have different standards on what's clean.
Exactly. And that's the point, Ian.
I'm trying to learn how to get things into her standards while also trying to get her to understand like yo, just let me know. Like just talk to me. Just talk to me. Like communicate, let me know and stuff. Because I think one of our biggest things, like she'll just get up and she'll just start doing shit. And the expectation is when she gets up and start doing shit, I'm supposed to get up and start doing shit.
That's what I do to Matt. Matthew be like, so are we cleaning right now?
Right. And I'm like, yo, like, if you
yes,
feel like
we're cleaning. I need you to get up. I need you to vacuum these floors so that I can mop them.
Like, just say that. Just say, hey, babe. In about 20 minutes, I would like to start cleaning the house. And like, for me, I'm like, all right, fuck it. Let's go. Let's do it. But if you just get up and you doing something 2 rooms over and you didn't say nothing, and I'm just like, oh, she gone for like an hour. Like, that's fine. You know, I'm there doing my shit and stuff. Nah, you didn't clean like 2 rooms. Like, you got to communicate with me because I don't know what you're doing over there. Like, I don't know what's going on. You just feel like getting up and doing some shit.
Well, look, cool. I feel Karen in some ways though, because I don't know if Karen does this. I do this. I'll tell Matthew, I'll say, like I grew up where my dad expected me to clean the bathrooms every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to give me allowance. And then I got older and then he stopped giving me allowance, but still expected me to clean the bathrooms. Cause I lived at home when I was in college.
Yeah.
Cause I went to school in Minnesota. And so and my dad is a clean freak. And if you go to any of my family members on my dad's side's home, their house is clean. All that, like everything is clean. And so it's a little different so then for me, cleaning should happen at least pick up every weekend, but then now with living with Matthew and having a home, I'm just like, okay, well, at least clean the bathrooms every other weekend because I can't be the one to do this all the time. And this is why I'm looking into hiring somebody because I want my bathroom cleaned every weekend, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And if I can only afford to have someone come, well, at least have someone come I was thinking like if I could have someone come like every third week of the month to do a deep cleaning, that would make my job during the other weeks a lot easier. But yeah, I'll tell Matthew, like, I think we should, I was like, I'm going to clean up this week. I'm going to clean the house this weekend. I'll tell him midweek. Then I'll say Thursday, I'm going to clean my goal for because we talk about usually what we're doing that weekend. I'll be like, I'm going to clean up the house. So then if I'm sitting on the couch on Saturday morning after we eat breakfast and I get up and I start cleaning, you've already known what my plan was.
No.
So this is now what we're doing. Now we're cleaning.
We started. Oh,
yeah, right. And right now we've started. Why do I got to be the one that started every time?
I just need on your mark, get set, go. Like that's all I need. It's like, okay, hey babe, it's time. Like, because I also like the opportunity to tell you, hey babe, I know you want to get this done today, and I have blocked out my day to help you. I just need like 30 minutes for this food to settle. And stuff like that. And then we can kind of like, if you want to get a jump start, cool. Just let me know what areas you need me to hit. And like, let's go and do that. You know what I'm saying? But so also, and this is not me just being like super misogynistic, anything like that. Like I've also been conditioned by my mom to be this way because my mom my mom has growing up, like she wanted things done in a very particular way.
Yeah.
And if you came to help her and you didn't do it the way that she wanted it done,
you gotta go.
You know, she didn't like that.
You gotta go.
You know, and so it would get to the point where it's just like you would help her for 5 minutes and then she was like, just go away. I can do this, right? And then it got to the point where she would just stop asking for help because she was like, you're not gonna do it the way I want to do it. I'll just do it myself. And so I will say, like, I am not conditioned. When I am conditioned to see a woman working and being like, oh, she's doing shit. Okay, good job.
Her way. She's doing things her way and she's happy about it. Let me not interrupt.
Like, for me, like, I don't have a problem helping. Like, I wash dishes all the time in the house. I'll clean. Like, sometimes Karen has to go say, hey, babe, you still have stuff to do in there? Yes. But what I will say is like, I have to, like, you are going to have a conversation with me. If you want me to get to the point where it's just like automatic, like you're going to have to give me a minute. Like I didn't come into this space with that reflex and stuff like that. Just have a conversation. Like, just let me know. Like, hey, like, babe, and you know, like a reminder while we sitting there eating, like, hey, babe, like, you know, this after breakfast, like, let's just go ahead and get the house knocked out so we can have the rest of the day.
Yeah, I agree. That's something.
You said we cleaning on this weekend. The weekend is like 3 days.
Well, and then I'll usually say, and now I'm going to start cleaning. And then I start, and you know what I mean? And I know he'll start. He'll get going when he gets going. And the thing is, Matthew is a tidy person. It's just that I think there's a difference between being tidy and then cleaning. Like I don't care. For me, I'm not always the most tidy person. Because I know my floors are clean. You feel me?
Right.
It's like it's okay if something falls on the ground because my shit is clean. It doesn't, I'm not, you know? And so, but I will pick it up. For him, he wants it tidy, but I'm like, but
is it clean?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm messy. I'm a pal person, so I have pals. I have pals in places, and I know that is not going to work for my fiance. So I am like slowly getting rid of my pals, like very slowly actually, but they are disappearing. Mm-hmm. Over the last 4 months, I've gotten rid of, or the last 4 weeks, I've gotten rid of 2 pals. I have about 4 more to go. You know, but they really like small. They're nothing like previous engagement, like bachelor pals. They are not bachelor pals, but they are pals, and I am getting used to it. But like, I mean, she keeps her house really, really tidy.
Yeah.
And so I like that word. That word actually depicts Karen's house. It gets really tidy. The kitchen gets messy,
because she cooks and she cleans, and it's a lived-in home.
Well,
I do believe in that. Like you gotta live in your home.
We cook and we clean. And I will say also, I have been a little stressed out, and it's been kind of affecting my work too. Because like now I'm out in the suburbs, so there's like an hour and a half, 2 hour
movement,
like commute between the two. And I have been getting a little stressed out with the fact that I haven't been home enough to help and stuff like that. Because honestly, I would like to be the one to cook. But I'm not there to help, because by the time I get home, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody dying of fucking hunger, because like I'm getting home like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Right.
And stuff, so she has to like cook and stuff. So, I do my best to like, clean up the kitchen afterwards. I have missed out on that sometimes where she ended up cleaning the kitchen and stuff. But I do my best to do that. And then like, I offer to like buy food and stuff like that to make up for not being able to cook and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm working on it. I am working on it because she has zero faith in men and household duties and stuff like that. And it's like,
but I cannot say that because I was raised by my father, and my father is one of the cleanest people I know to almost a fault.
Hold on. I got to cut you off. I'm sorry. The dirty word is initiative. You have to take initiative.
Yeah.
I hate that word. I hate it.
But it's
so
true though.
much.
It's like, I think for me, I'll speak for me. What I want to see is that I don't have to be the one because it's like everybody notices. Everyone sees what's happening in the home. Everyone knows that it should probably be cleaned. But then I'm like, how come no one is like taking the initiative to be like, hey, other than me saying, hey, we're going to clean on Saturday because shit needs to be cleaned. I hate being the person. I'm gonna start doing. Yeah, I'm gonna start saying I'm like, for me, I don't even, I'm at the place where like, I am annoyed at the fact that I am the person where it bothers me enough. It's like, it's kind of like, no. I want it to bother you enough where you bring it up first and then I want you to take the initiative to do something about it. Okay.
So it's not
this
the
is where we're at Ian right now, because now I'm like, look, I made honestly a goal. Part of my goal for moving to LA was also, I told Matthew in 2022, come 2022/2023, whenever we can afford it, I'm not cleaning the house no more. We are hiring someone else. I want to put money in someone else's pocket to do this shit because I'm over it. Love ya. But figure it out and put it in the budget, because you know what I mean? And our back house woman says that she has someone who charges like $25 an hour. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like that's legit. Come on through. Pay you $25 an hour, give you tip as well. And it's like, cool.
I love it. I love that for you. I love that for you. But like, that's like, okay. Like, yeah. Like, start. Okay. So like, here's my standard. This is my standard. Like, just say that. This isn't, because we have different standards. Like, that is not a problem for me right now. It will be in about 3 days, but that's like a week and a half. And a week and a half don't work for you. So, like, hey, Ian, this is my standard. This is what the bathroom looks when it's completely clean. This is how the living room looks when it's completely clean.
You also have kids, though, so you can't control that.
Need this reset once a week.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I need this reset once a week. Okay. I see you once a week. I raise you 1 week in a day because my off day is on a Monday. Okay. Can you give me that room? I feel like there's like some wiggle room.
Yeah. Okay.
It has to be some wiggle room, because it's like just being like fed up at the same time that I'm fed up with the way the house looks. It's not gonna work, because I'm never gonna feel the way you feel. I will never feel the way you feel.
And that's the problem.
It's not going to happen.
And that's when you hire someone, because fuck it. Because I'm not arguing with, no. I'm not. I would rather, there's other things to think about. And I've cleaned enough bathrooms to be okay.
No, I agree with you. Now, doing the work,
to do it again.
I 2000% agree with you. My problem in relationships. And I would say like, because Karen's not the first person I live with. My problem is my partner's problem with using words. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'll do it, but if you're going to be upset that you have to talk about it.
No, but that's the thing. Cleaning, having to talk about cleaning, I understand it. I resonate with Karen wholeheartedly because if I have to talk about it, that means it doesn't bother you enough. And that is what bothers me. That's what bothers me.
You don't know. But if you want it clean, babe, like, let's clean it. Like, let's do it. But no, this is good for another 3 days, babe.
Yeah, see.
Like, this is actually, we could probably stretch this out into next Sunday if you want to be honest.
See, I've become very flexible to that point.
Like, I don't like the dirty kitchen, though.
No, I mean, me and Matthew, same. We don't like, honestly, we live a very clean lifestyle. I just grew up in a very, 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 very clean home. And so like, where like my dad would wash the walls, okay? Like that type of thing. He would clean sometimes so deeply where he would pull everything off of the walls. Like anything that was leaning up, he would move all the furniture to like the middle of the room. I've had friends come over and be like, "Are you moving?" And I'm like, "No, my dad's he's just cleaning." Yeah. So that's also me just getting over some of the way that I grew up, where like I could always walk on the floor, no shoes on. Like if my floors were always clean, if you drop something on the ground, you could eat it because there was no hesitation of whether or not it was clean. You know what I mean? So it's like, that is just a little different. I know not everybody grew up that way. And there's also some issues with growing up that way too. Because it's like a lot of control, a lot of like,
Don't put your shit on us.
Yeah. So I've been dealing with that. So, the compromise is getting someone to clean the house. Okay. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, I mean, and with that, I'm just going to leave everybody with just those thoughts because I have to jump to a meeting. So,
okay.
Not to cut us off short, but yeah,
here's another episode
of the Runners Club podcast. Thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, suggest, post us on IG, tag us, tag the Run Club, Runners Club podcast, tag Runners Club podcast, tag Courtney, tag Ian, put us all in there so that we can repost. We love to see that you guys listen to us. And we will see you. 5 stars only.
Peace.
Peace.